Good afternoon, everybody.
I think it's good afternoon.
Yes.
Good afternoon, everyone. It is a pleasure to welcome advocates, spokespeople, to talk about a very serious issue, which it is time that we bring out of the shadows. And the issue involved that we're here to talk about today involves domestic violence and its intersection with gun ownership. I know I don't have to give all of you too many statistics, but I'm going to do so anyway, just to remind the press who's here, so that this can really be translated back to the public with the seriousness that we are facing it. A woman is 5 times more likely to be murdered by her intimate partner if there is a gun in the home. The mere presence of a gun in a domestic violence situation increases the risk by 5 times that a woman will be murdered. Through 2012, 6,410 women were murdered in the U.S. by an intimate partner. That's an unimaginable statistic. Of all women killed by intimate partners between 2001 and 2012, 55% were killed with guns. More non-fatal violence against women was committed by a current or former boyfriend than by a current or former spouse. And that's one of the issues that this bill has been designed to address. Almost 49% of all intimate partner homicides were committed by a dating partner, not by a spouse or somebody with whom the person lived. In 2012, 1,688 women were killed in intimate partner homicides in which the race of the victim could be identified. Of this number, 468 were Black females. Between January 2009 and January 2013, 57% of mass shootings began with or involved a domestic violence incident, the cause and the effect. In states that require a background check for private handgun sales, there are 49% fewer firearm suicides. In 2011, in 14 states and the District of Columbia, gun deaths outpaced motor vehicle deaths. Gun deaths outpaced motor vehicle deaths. So we're here today to talk about how we can move New Jersey forward. And I am going to turn the chair over to my colleague in the State Assembly. Since I'm on the older side of the equation, it really gives me faith in the future to see people like Abby Mosquera serving us in the state legislature. She is a true advocate for women's issues, for family issues, and I know that our state is in good hands with people like this Gabby, as well as the other Gabby that we're going to talk about in a few moments. So with that, Gabby, you're on.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Senator. And first of all, I just want to welcome everyone to the State House. And Congresswoman, welcome to the State House and to the state of New Jersey. It's a pleasure to have you here. Domestic violence in this country, and in particular in this state, is an epidemic. It's a huge epidemic. 1 in 4 women in the United States experience domestic violence sometimes in their life. And there also are statistics that show that men also experience domestic violence too. Now, having guns and domestic violence together, that is a lethal combination. Because we all know that domestic violence is about controlling and dominating individuals through fear and intimidation. what is not more fearful than having a firearm point against you, basically swinging against your face, because they want to control you, because the abuser wants to control you and make sure that you do what you're told. And that is basically what we're here today. Why is this important? Well, it's important to me because I lived through it. My mother is a survivor of domestic violence, and I witnessed that struggle and that pain and the fear that my mother had through the eyes of a child. Now, my mom was very lucky because she was able to get out. There are many women and men who are victims of domestic violence that don't. They're not able to get out. It's hard for them to get out because it's more dangerous for them to leave their current situation because it's fearful. They fear death, and that is something real to them. This is it's something that is very dear and near to my heart, and I'm very passionate about this because it happened to my mother. I take domestic violence as something very personal, and I hope that we are here today to talk about how we can move the state forward and take away guns from individuals who have propensity of violence, specifically towards women. People have to know that there are consequences for their actions. And that's why we're here today. So thank you for coming, and I look forward to hearing your feedback on this issue. And the senator and I have a bill that is currently pending in the state legislature that is going to address this issue, trying to figure out how to save individuals from death. And if we can save the life of just one person, then this bill did its job. So thank you, and I do appreciate you being here.
I am very proud to introduce a woman who is at the helm of our organization, someone who reminds us of the importance of fighting for common ground, no matter what the adversity is, to move ahead, to find solutions, and to keep fighting for what's right. One of the strongest people I know, Congresswoman Gabby Giffords. Thank you.
Dangerous people with guns are a threat to women. Criminals with guns, abusers with guns, stalkers with guns. That makes gun violence a women's issue. For mothers, for families, for me and you, women can lead the way. We stand for common sense. We stand for responsibilities. We can change the laws. We can win elections. Please join your voice with mine. Thank you very much.
I guess that's the point of having this roundtable, is just basically to talk about the discussion and let people know that domestic violence is a serious issue, and to also know that, you know, when guns are in the mix, that even becomes a bigger deal, because as the senator said, you know, a woman is 5 times more likely to be killed by an intimate partner if there's a gun in the home. So the issue is, and for me in particular, is to protect the woman in the household, is to protect the victim. That's, for me, it's the most important thing, is to empower the victim and to make sure that they get the help that they need. So this is, for me, this is important. Domestic violence is cyclical. You know, when children, there have been reports and studies done that children who have been witnessed domestic violence in the home, they tend to seek out those type of partners when they become adults, and the cycle starts all over again. So it takes a strong person to break that cycle. And I'm just very appreciative and grateful that my mother had the strength and the courage to break that cycle, and allowed my brothers and I basically to move forward with our lives and, you know, live to the fullest of our potential. So I'm grateful to actually be given the platform as a state representative, and, you know, bring this issue to the forefront and make people aware that this is something that's important. And when it comes to also when guns are involved, it just makes it more like intense of an issue because we need to protect the victims, protect the children. And for me, it's about just protecting those individuals and giving them the tools to survive and giving them the tools to move forward with their lives, giving them the tools for them to move away from the suffering, away from the pain, and towards the light, and allowing them to live to their potential, like the opportunity that my mother was given. Every person should be also been given that opportunity. We have the right as individuals to walk around this world without fear of physical harm, threats, and living our lives the way we choose to. And it's wrong. Domestic violence is completely wrong. And my message today is that we need to stop this. And with all your help, I hope that we will.
Congresswoman Giffords, on behalf of all of us, to have you sitting in this chair is an honor. It's a privilege. And watching you give your remarks when you actually got taller as you gave those remarks. And as I said, just watching the kind of strength I've seen here with Joanne and with you, Congresswoman, certainly with my friend Gabby Mix, all the last years of working on this worthwhile. So thank you.
Thank you very much. So the senator and I have proposed a piece of legislation here that would strengthen the goal is to strengthen the firearms laws and the domestic violence laws in the state of New Jersey. And one of the things that we understand is how dangerous it is to have these firearms in the home when there are victims of domestic violence. So one of the things that we would like to propose is having the immediate surrender of these firearms once we know that there is a propensity of violence in the home. That's first and foremost. And making sure that, that abusers understand that there are consequences, strong consequences, and that is taking away those guns, making sure that they understand that fact. And hopefully you'll get an opportunity to review the piece of legislation, and I would greatly want to get your feedback, because the idea of this roundtable is getting everybody to discuss, their point of view of how they see things and how we can together improve the laws, and how we can strengthen the laws, and how we can save a life, because it's about saving a life, not only in the state, but hopefully the leadership that we all have shown here today, we can move forward, and perhaps maybe other states can follow suit. And it's important that the state of New Jersey leads the way in bringing awareness to domestic violence and hoping that we end domestic violence. I know it's a long, long mission, but it is in my hope that one day violence against women will end. So thank you very much.
Get her done.
We will.